You reach review time with Imperial. Today we're going to be reviewing Equalizer 2 starring Denzel Washington. Let's get into it. Now, if you've seen Equalizer 1, it came out of nowhere and years ago, back in I think 2014. And it surprised everybody. It came out around the same time John Wick 1 came out. And it was a good movie. Surprisingly, because you know Denzel's up in age, but he's to see him in an action film and he got busy. And it wasn't too out of the norm of seeing that he couldn't really do that or whatever. He kind of got the fighting style. If moviegoers know about Steven Seagal in the early days of like Hard to Kill and his early movies, his fighting style is just more combat with the hands and close range or whatever. So it doesn't look like it's not too unbelievable when he's doing damage to people. So after Equalizer 1, everybody was like, yo, that was a good movie. They longed for part 2. Then John Wick 2 came out. Everybody was wondering when Equalizer 2 will come out. Here we have it, Equalizer 2. So let's get into it. It doesn't really say how much time has passed since Equalizer 1, but he's still doing the same where he goes into missions and he times himself on how long he takes to demolish the enemies. So he start off where he's on a train. He's looking for a missing girl where the girl's dad has took her from her mother, and he goes on there and he's acting like he's just a random Muslim guy, but he's really there to retrieve the daughter back. And he kills the men that was protecting him. Then he left him to have a conversation with him, but it didn't show whether he killed the little girl's dad or not. But then he brought the little girl back. Ironically, the little girl mother runs a bookstore where he goes and get books from, and it ties in together where he's staying. So in his apartment complex, he's there. He sees the people, the community in the apartment complex. She's growing vegetables and stuff like that from her homeland. She's Muslim, and he runs into a black kid who's has potential, but he could be steered the wrong way. And he's a artist, and Denzel character has taken interest in him. So upon Denzel's day-to-day job in Equalizer, he's a Lyft driver. And so he runs into all different types of people and listens to different people while they're in the car with him. And one of the scenes, he runs into a woman. He picks her up. Some guy put her in the car, and it looks like they raped her or they did something to her and filmed her. And so he went back up there and he revenged the woman. So that's a scene in there. So the basis of this one is in part 1, his storyline is he was part of a special ops group with the government, like Navy SEALs type, real badass group. And then his real life, he is on record as dying. He doesn't exist, but he's still alive, I guess, of course, moving around. So he, in part 1, went into a lady that knows he's still alive, and basically he showed up for her just to get her blessing that he was getting ready to do some destruction to these people. And so that same lady he's in contact now, she shows up. She knew where he stayed, and they still got a rapport, and she knew about the mission he went on, and he know about the stuff that she's into. So nobody knows except her and her husband that he still exists. His old team doesn't know. So she's still affiliated with his old team member. So it shows a scene where it's a guy and his wife. He comes home. They got his wife at gunpoint. They kill his wife and then they kill him. It really doesn't show why that situation happened, what that guy was involved with. But that guy was part of their team. So the woman went to investigate it and she noticed some things that was off. So the guy that was part of the team was looking like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "Yeah," but she noticed some things was off. And so she talked to Denzel's character. He told her like, "Yo, I'm looking for this. See some information you can find on this." So one of the guys, one of the people that Denzel does the lift for, is an old man who lost his sister way back many years ago. Hasn't seen his sister in over 60 years, and he's old. And they were split up, and there was a painting that reminded him of his sister. And he just, he getting old, and he has nothing left pretty much. So Denzel asked that see if she can get some information. And when she got in contact with Denzel, she pretty much told him, "Hey, I sent you some information." Nevertheless, because she was suspicious about that crime scene, a hit was put on her life. And she fought her way, valiant effort, but they were men, so of course they overpowered her. They killed her, and the guys that hired the men to kill her, they end up killing them guys, so it's no traces, so they can't be, "Hey, somebody hired us to do X, Y, and Z." So Denzel, of course, he took that heartfelt, and now he's on a mission to revenge her life. He runs into the old team member that she was still working with, and that team member didn't know he was still alive. So it was a shock to him, and he's looking like, "Oh shit." So Denzel start automatically putting the pieces together like, "You got something to do with this." So when that guy found out Denzel was still alive, he knew he had to get rid of all traces. So he sent somebody, of course, to get Denzel. Denzel fought his way and killed the dude. Then he went on an attack after this guy. So that's pretty much, without giving you every little intricate detail of it's the revenge and him doing his little equalizer and, giving hope to people that need a little help. And pretty much he got the kid that had potential. He got him into a good school. The woman who was growing crops, he made sure her crops was well. And the old man that never seen his sister since many years ago, he found his sister and brought his sister to him. So that was a beautiful moment to see, like, them reunite and stuff like that. So he pretty much was the hero. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell without getting to every little single detail. So it's not a full spoiler, but it was a decent film to watch. Out of my 4-point rating system, I'm going to give it a 2.5. 2.5, it was just an okay movie. It was decent, okay. You could watch it. Wasn't the greatest movie. Wasn't the greatest storyline. I doubt if it becomes a part 3. I doubt if it becomes a part 3. I think they're going to leave it here. There's no post-credit scenes. So I think that's what it is, right? Equalizer 2 and stop at that. Other than that, stay tuned for the next review. Subscribe and like, share the video. Building the channel with more and more content. Till the next time.